Dean Weber, members of the faculty and staff of Lerner College, members of the class of 2013, and invited guests. I'm very honored to be here today. When I got the note inviting me to be here, I had two thoughts. The first was, my friends are getting really good at faking these emails. And the second was that U of D must not have looked at my undergraduate grades. So I was fortunate enough to attend the university twice. First as an undergrad studying electrical engineering. Electrical engineering is a tough major here at UD, and all I can say is that the world is a much safer place that I don't actually practice electrical engineering. My goal was to get the degree in 4 years and move on. About 5 years later, I returned, this time for my MBA. My commitment level was high, and the experience was much more enjoyable. For a change, I went to most of my classes. The knowledge, relationships, and experiences I earned during my pursuit of this degree had a dramatic positive impact on my life. Since earning my MBA, as you heard, I've started and sold 2 digital marketing businesses, provided jobs for over 100 people, published a book, and done work with many of the top consumer brands from Pfizer to Comedy Central. You may think you've done a lot, but until your 14-year-old son recognizes that you've done work for South Park, then you know you've done a lot. University of Delaware has been an important reason for my accomplishments to date. Seth Godin, best-selling author of over 15 books, publishes a blog that's read by millions daily. His post of 2011 stuck with me. The title of that post was, "Are you buying an education or are you buying a brand?" He went on to question whether students were benefiting more from the knowledge taught in the classrooms on the university campus, or instead from the name of the university on their diplomas. Seth's blog post really got me to think. With my MBA from UD, did I get a brand or did I get an education? I'd argue I got a little of both here at UD. The UD brand is a strong one, and it's one that seems to grow in status the further away you move from Newark in terms of distance and time. And I believe that as graduating classes like yourselves go out into the world, the Blue Hen brand will only grow stronger. Be proud of it and make UD proud of you. The education I got here was also important to my success in business. When starting my first business with nothing but some relationships and a smile, we needed a bank to believe in us and get some much needed loans. Years later, the banker who gave us a chance confided in me that my ability to talk in terms that banks understood gave him confidence to help us get those much needed loans. Not to let me get too confident, he also said the lien on my house helped. My MBA helped me converse in the language of business, understand my clients' goals, and craft our solution to align with those goals. We were able to speak to our clients in terms that they understood. But I want to add one more item to Seth Godin's list. Earning a degree here from the University of Delaware gives you something much greater than a brand or an education. The degree you receive today gives you an opportunity to do something great. UD grads have a long history of doing great things. From the multi-touch gesturing Apple put into the iPhones, to Ren, the Chinese equivalent of Facebook, to being the MVP of the Super Bowl. UD grads have truly done great things. But doing great things doesn't always have to equate to a big bank account or a fancy car. UD grads have fulfilled this opportunity for greatness performing public service, such as Senator Tom Carper and soldiers Tom Stocks and Luke Carnes, who have earned MBAs from UD while serving in our military. Others have fulfilled this opportunity for greatness in less visible, but no less important ways, such as UD grad Brandon Bird. Brandon Bird left the Chicago hip-hop world and moved to DC to help troubled teens. Brandon restored a 1952 delivery truck, which he named Gigi, and employs local teens to sell frozen custard. For those lives that Brandon is changing in DC, Brandon is fulfilling his opportunity to do something great. I wanted to share 2 pieces of advice with you as you advance in your lives with this degree and an opportunity to do great things. These are, first, to get involved, and second, to share your stories. I'd like to share a couple of my stories about what getting involved got me. In the early days of my second company, the Archer Group, I regularly attended events hosted by an organization known as Digital Delaware. This was a networking event largely attended by web designers and software developers, which in the mid-2000s was a pale shadow of its former .com self. I was asked to join the board and gladly did so, adding more to my calendar, already packed with the activities of building a business. While on this board, we underwent a rebranding of sorts, broadening our focus and changing our name to the Technology Forum of Delaware. It may not seem like much, but it did have a big difference. These efforts were spearheaded by a fellow board member, Chuck Burns, who asked for my help. It was a big task and one that had the future of the organization riding on it if we were to stay relevant. Throughout the process, Chuck and I became friends, and we remain great friends to this day. We even became co-presidents of the organization for a time, only after we were assured by the board that we would not be asked to serve as presidents individually. But that's not why I share this story with you. At one point throughout our times on the board, Chuck called me with an opportunity. One of his clients was in the market for a new marketing website, and he wanted to introduce us to the client. We won that project, and over time, that client, Wawa, became our largest. Now, every time you see a Wawa ad online, hear a catchy Hoagie Fest jingle, or order a hoagie through their touchscreens, you can thank Archer. While it was and continues to be the amazing work of the Archer team that keeps us at Wawa, we never would have known about that opportunity if it weren't for our involvement in the tech forum. The line to new opportunities isn't always straight or even clearly visible, but if you're required to be there, you'll never see it. Of all the resources available to you, time is the scarcest. Your calendar will be constantly overflowing with meetings, events, and functions, many of which you'll attend while saying to yourself, "Here goes 30 minutes of my life I'll never get back." This pull at your schedule will only get more difficult when you have a family and you have to decide between little Jake's baseball practice or a networking event an hour away with people you don't even know. But my advice to you is get involved and don't always calculate the ROI of participating. You can't evaluate every function with a litmus test of, will I leave here tonight with business? People with those hard-charging goals for an event usually find themselves in the corner and dismissive of the value because no one will talk to them. Every time you participate, show your face, or get involved, you add to your visibility, credibility, and respect from others. Each of these things is required for you to get that random opportunity, job offer, or business lead that forever changes your career path. While at my first startup, there was a business magazine, Fast Company, and it was organizing local events named Company of Friends. And these were events where like-minded people could meet and share ideas. At the first event, I met this individual who was trying to start his own email business. We traded cards and stayed in touch throughout the years, but we lost touch as life does what it does. It happens. Years later, after I sold that business, we ran into each other at yet another event and reconnected, agreeing to have coffee and catch up. We were both dabbling in the email business, and after a few more coffees, agreed to combine forces and push the boulder up the hill together. This person, Patrick Callahan, was my co-founder in the Archer Group. He likes to tell people he ran the operations of Archer because I lost the first check, which I did. We worked well together and grew the company to over 50 people in less than 7 years. We were two like-minded people who discovered each other at an event and were able to create a magical company like Archer, something that neither one of us could have done on our own, or even had foreseen when deciding on whether or not to go to that Company of Friends dinner 5 years prior. Lastly, I encourage you to share your stories. In Pulitzer Prize-winning authors David McCullough's wonderful book about John Adams, McCullough writes that despite a long, strained relationship between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, Adams spent his last years writing to Jefferson. Part of this was to patch up a friendship with another founding father, but McCullough also noted that Adams did this to make sure that part of his story of the founding of America would be told. During those times, writing wasn't a universal talent, and Adams knew that history would be told through the wonderful writings of Jefferson. Fast forward to today, where status updates, tweets, and potentially embarrassing texts are all too prevalent, and there's a lot of information going on. In 2003, Google CEO Eric Schmidt proclaimed that every 2 days, we create as much information as has been created since the dawn of civilization, and that was before there was Twitter. I'm encouraging you to write more. Share your stories. Every day, share your thoughts. Tweet about an article that inspired you. Blog about your passion, no matter how obscure it is. Set a goal to publish something every day, even if it's a picture of a sunset. Setting goals to share gets you searching for things to share. And this constant searching opens your eyes to the exciting world around you, just waiting for you to add your perspective to it. It is those perspectives that make you who you are. And in the words of Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. And if you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. Don't worry if someone else is reading it. They will. This wealth of data isn't going away. The stories of today will not only be told by those with the gift of writing great things. Your future will be told by you. Your yet unborn great-great-grandkids will be able to reassemble your life story through your digital data stream. Imagine how exciting it would be to pore through the daily tweets of your grandparents, to learn what they went through and what they were thinking at the time. So snap those photos, keep your clothes on, and share with the world what you're thinking. Your great-great-grandkids will thank you for it. So today you've earned 3 things with your degree: the knowledge, the brand, and the opportunity. It's up to you to now go out in the world and do something great with it. I congratulate you on your accomplishments, and I look forward to just reading about your successes in the future. Congratulations to the class of 2013.